Thank you, Miss Barnes. Portia, I reminded her with a half-smile. Portia, she echoed firmly. Several heads swiveled in Ricky's direction, their eyes narrowed. I'd singled her out to lead a client call, an opportunity that few of them had been offered in their 6-month stint here. Of course, I'd put a target on Ricky's back, but I knew she could handle it. I had plans for Ricky. Ample amounts of intelligence and determination, the perfect alchemical formula to be my star associate. Now I just had to convince her to move to Boston. All in good time, though. I proceeded with my swath through the Shark Tank, blithely ignoring the murmurs springing up in my wake as I pressed the elevator button for the 25th floor. Even though these heels were modern marvels of foot-cradling wonderment straight out of a woman-owned design house in Florence, that didn't mean I wanted to hike up 6 flights of stairs in them. The doors slid open, and the tastefully appointed corporate reception area greeted me like an old friend. I knew every inch of dark cherry furniture and every brushstroke of those neoclassical fox hunts that hung on the wall. Even though Gerald would be expecting me in exactly 8 minutes, I swung by my office one last time. Lingering in the doorway, I surveyed the now sparse room. The walnut desk had only a docking station, and my 2 diplomas from Harvard hung perfectly straight on the eggshell wall, waiting for facilities to pack them up and ship them to Boston. On the bookshelf where I'd already cleared out several law treatises and publications, a single silver Tiffany frame with a picture of my parents and sisters winked at me in the late afternoon sun. I hadn't had the heart to take it home with me last night, knowing I'd be back one more time, so I reached for it now, stowing it away in my Stella McCartney vegan leather handbag. Miranda had insisted we take one this past Christmas, and after fumbling with the timer on her phone and several obscenity-laden retakes because Dad and Cordelia kept closing their eyes, we'd finally managed a mostly normal one of us. Miranda, who looked like one of those Waterhouse maidens, all cascading red hair and milk-white skin, deceptively demure and serene but for the slain dragon at her feet. And Cordelia, ever the luscious Botticelli, hogging all the curves and curls our gene pool had to offer, sandwiched Mom in the middle. Dad and I, who shared the same willowy build and coloring, winter sky blue eyes and pale, straight hair, stood tall in the back. And, of course, because we couldn't have a family photo without him, Miranda's dog, Puck, sitting on her feet and still managing to pull off the best smile of all of us. Home. The idea filled me with equal parts longing and dread. I didn't need to glance at my watch to know I needed to get a move on, so I silently bade goodbye to my home away from home, the corner office that I comfortably occupied up to 14 hours a day without complaint, and stole one last glance at the sweeping views of Manhattan out my floor-to-ceiling window. Chris Rogers sat on the other side of the floor in the corner office diagonal from my own. Eons ago, when we'd been summer associates together, we'd shared a tiny, cramped office down on the 9th floor with panoramic views of the alley, our backs nearly touching if we were both in our chairs at the same time. How the mighty and relentless had risen. Like mine, Chris's present office was spacious and appointed in the same dark walnut, but that's where the similarities ended. His walls were crammed with pictures of a younger version of himself and his friends grinning like loons atop the summits of Denali, Kilimanjaro, Snowdon, and Mont Blanc. While his desk and work table were overflowing with mismatched frames displaying snapshots of his surgeon wife, Callie, and their adorable but slightly terrifying twins, Alyssa and Kayla, who'd gone off to kindergarten last fall. Chris himself stood at the window, his back to me. He stretched and yawned loudly, so I knew he'd heard me enter. "I thought you were going to leave by noon to beat the traffic. You know how it picks up in June." The best laid plans. I wanted to finish up the Peterson draft before I left. "So I don't have to look in on Stu Peterson and his dullard sons this summer?" he asked, a hopeful note in his voice. "Oh, no," I smiled. "You'll be holding their hands through all their ridiculous underbaked deals, but I bought you a week or so. Consider it my going-away gift." "I'm the one babysitting your clients for the summer. I believe I'm the one gift-giving here," he insisted, turning from the window. Coming in somewhere north of 6